So after receiving the relevant capacitors and also the rectifier, of which I managed to get a whole batch of rectifiers, which was handy, and a whole batch of capacitors, which is also equally handy, I, in the end, just replaced the two blown out capacitors. When I actually came to reassemble this, I actually discovered why those capacitors had blown out. There are a selection of diodes, and funnily enough this is also mentioned in the factory service manual for this particular deck, and also mentioned in the service bulletins for this particular deck. As I say, within that manual there is a section in the manual which states that the diodes next to those two capacitors do run very hot, and after prolonged use of the deck the capacitors dry out with predictable results. The fix is to mount the capacitors onto effectively a third-party board, so in other words a separate board, join that board to the main board with some suitable fly leads, and away you go. That is your fix. You basically take the capacitors off and you remote mount them. In this instance I have actually mounted them directly to the board, but I may at some point actually mount them away from the board so that they don't get quite so hot, because certainly in operation, even though the unit was only on for a relatively short period of time, they do get really hot in that position. So I can see why there was a service bulletin to remove them from the board. There were some other service bulletins on this particular deck as well for other various things and other stock faults that the unit seemed to generate during its life, but I haven't acted on any of those. I just wanted to get it working. The board itself, I managed to get it reinstated into the machine and the unit powered straight up. There was, as you saw there, a little wisp of smoke which came off of something, and I can't for the life of me find out what it was, what caused it, or indeed if there were any problems resulting from said wisp of smoke. There are some problems with sound output, certainly over the separate RF sockets, sorry not separate RF sockets, the separate phono sockets on the rear of the deck, and also through the SCART sockets. If I play a VHS cassette, it plays relatively okay. It does actually play sound, but you do have to turn the volume up on the set when playing. But over DVD there doesn't seem to be any audio at all. You can turn the volume all the way up and there's absolutely no audio whatsoever. So I do need to look into that. It could be as simple as a setting, so it could actually be outputting audio direct to the optical out on the deck, because it does have an optical output. I've yet to test the optical out. I've got an amplifier downstairs, my Panasonic amplifier, which is about 21 years old, which I use as a main amp for the TV set downstairs, so I will actually try it on that to see if it is that. If it isn't, I'm not sure what else I can actually look at on this, as a lot of the stuff in here is surface mount. I will take a look at the power supply again and see if there are any circuit protectors. I mean, that wisp of smoke could have been a circuit protector that may have blown, but it really wasn't that dramatic. It was just like a puff of smoke as you turned it on, and that was it. There was no sort of burning smells or anything of that nature. However, as you can see here, deck functions are working fine. It's ejecting DVD, it will take a DVD, it goes through all of its self-on power on checks before displaying that sort of rather lurid blue LED that you can see there. And when we play it back through the test set, you'll be able to see the results that we get very shortly. So this is VHS, and VHS is working well. You can hear it if you turn the volume up, so it does work as a basic video player, which is quite useful. Pause and fast forward and rewind quality is really good. It's actually quite surprising. That's, as you can see there, that's your pause quality. Ignore the flicker, but pause is pretty much perfect. This is down to the unit actually having 4 heads, which is quite cool, so you do get quite a good freeze frame. And DVD is also not too bad either. It does work with DVD playback, but as I say, there are issues with sound over DVD, so that is something that we do need to address. But yeah, you can see it here playing one of my Minder CDs. It's actually doing quite a good job of doing that. So yeah, not bad at all. Anyway, if you have any suggestions as to why that audio seems to be missing on DVD, let me know. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Take care.